Good morning, good morning. It's Thursday, February 15th, and I am DJ Wonder Chrissy here, and this is Migrant Mayhem. Welcome to Migrant Mayhem. Yes, breaking news. Yep, we provide the breaking news here at Land Cruiser Midwest, and got a good show for you today. We're going to start out with, where should we go? We have an update on the Times Square beating that occurred a couple of weeks ago, where what was it? It was a collection of thugs. Let's see if I can find it here. A collection of thugs, there it is. Beat up on a couple of cops in Times Square trying to disperse them. And in this thing, we got some good news and some bad news. Let me get centered here a little bit for you. There we go. That's a little bit better. So they put some into custody, and at the very, very end of this clip, they talk about how a church put bail on one of them to get him out of jail, which is kind of discerning to me. But it seems like several of these criminals, allegedly criminals, illegal migrants, for sure, are in custody, ICE custody or police custody. So let's watch this clip as I give you a review of what's going on.
Police officers near Times Square
announcing new arrests in that attack. 2 suspects set to face a judge as soon as today. Temps said he is live at Queens Criminal Court in Kew Gardens with what we know. Good morning, Briella.
Yeah, Dan and Tashani, good morning to both of you. So 8 people in total have now been charged in connection with that Times Square attack. The Manhattan DA's office is still looking for several more. Darwin Gomez Iskiel was, well, actually, I should say he walked out of jail. He was re-arrested for robbery, and he appeared before a judge here in Queens late yesterday.
No, they have no remorse. They have no regard for police officers. They have no regard for law and order.
Patrick Hendry, head of the police union, offered those blunt remarks to reporters as he waited for Darwin Gomez Iskiel to go before a judge in Queens. The 19-year-old migrant was arrested for his alleged role in the January 27th attack on police officers in Times Square and released without bail. He's back in the system again in connection with a shoplifting incident at the Queens Center Mall. Police say Gomez Iskiel was part of a group that stole hundreds of dollars of clothing from Macy's and claimed he punched an employee who tried to...
Good old Macy's getting it again.
Individual who assaulted all police officers in Manhattan should have never been allowed to be back on the streets of the city of New York.
Back in Manhattan, DA Alvin Bragg announced another arrest tied to the Times Square assault. 17-year-old Yarwin Madris, seen here in a black hoodie, was taken into custody in the Bronx on Tuesday and held without bail following his arraignment yesterday afternoon. He pleaded not guilty to second-degree assault and is being charged as an adult for his alleged role in the attack. Madris was found hiding out in an apartment with his co-defendants in the Times Square beating. 21-year-old Wilson Juarez and 19-year-old Kelvin Servita Arocha. The DA's office had initially released the pair without bail.
Bad move.
And will stay in ICE custody until their next court appearance is scheduled for...
Good. Leave them in there.
8 people have now been arrested in connection to the Times Square case. The most recent suspect, 21-year-old Ulises Bojorquez, was picked up yesterday morning at the Randall's Island migrant shelter. He's being charged with assault on a police officer and is awaiting arraignment in Lower Manhattan.
Here's the bad news.
Was arraigned in Lower Manhattan yesterday, is due back in court on March 19th. Another defendant 24-year-old Yohenry Brito was in custody but released after a Bay Ridge church posted his $15,000 bail. For Now World Live here in Kew Gardens, Queens, Tashani, back to you.
Briella, thank you.
So there you go. There's an update of New York. Let's head to Chicago, and they're saying that the numbers are down. Of course, they're down because the buses have pretty much come to a trickle. So let's set this one up, and all right. And they notice how somewhere in here they talk about the mission. Brandon's even got the reporters referring to this whole border crisis, migrant crisis as a mission. So let's listen to what the numbers are in Chicago and where they're at. Some good news, I guess, for Brandon, and we got some more bad news for Brandon later on.
Migrants in Chicago shelters has hit its lowest point in months.
The city also says it is not seeing as many new arrivals. Joni has an update on where those numbers currently stand.
Good morning. It happened just in the last couple of weeks. There are fewer bus arrivals for whatever reason, and there are 2,000 fewer people staying in the shelters right now. Also, we have the 60-day limit on shelter stay that is coming up next month for those who are currently living.
Yeah, and it's 40 and cloudy today. It is freezing out, even though it's 40 degrees. We might hit 45 by the end of the day, but it's no sun today, folks.
In shelters. The city reports that the city has received 35,000 new arrivals since the mission began. The police station.
Listen to that. Since the mission began. Figure that out.
Since the mission began, the police stations are mostly cleared. There's still a temporary waiting space for some, but only 10 are sleeping in police stations. O'Hare has one person staying there. And the Harold Washington Library, which took in migrants during the coldest days of all, January, back to being just a library. Now, at the peak, 15,000 migrants were housed in 28 city and state-run shelters. That number now below 13,000, much of the reduction happening just in the last 2 weeks. There's still pressure, though, for those who are in the shelters to find their own housing. They're going to start getting those eviction notices. They have to leave the shelter in mid-March. They could get some assistance from Catholic Charities, but they are encouraged to find an apartment on their own. Reporting live, I'm Joni Lum. Back to you.
Okay, thanks, Jim.
So, yeah, find an apartment on your own. Good luck, folks. Good luck in finding an apartment on your own. So there's the update. Without Governor Abbott closing down Eagle Pass, this town would still be awash with buses. So now that he's closed off Eagle Pass and called Joe Bergen's bluff at the border, it's stopped the flow of buses pretty much to the city of Chicago. So now the only flow that they're going to get is probably people being bussed here from New York or Denver. And yesterday, there was a incomplete story that we covered yesterday about the shot spotter. Yesterday it came out that Brandon was going to cancel the contract of a product called Shot Spotter in September of this year, making it sound like it was going to be due in September. Later on in the day, we came to find out that the incompetent Let's Go Brandon's goal was to renew Shot Spotter for 6 months and then cancel it. Not that it was going to expire in September. Late in the evening, it came out that Brandon was trying to get an extension because ShotSpotter license, which they pay about $8 million a year. And for those of you that don't know what ShotSpotter is, it's kind of like an acoustic microphones that they've set up in the various areas of Chicago so they can determine where shots are fired within an area of Chicago, so then they can send the police to the right area. Well, the contract expires tomorrow, this Friday, and Brandon wanted to renew it until after the DNC convention. But that's not how the story came out. Well, now that all this has come out, he still doesn't have a temporary contract. And do you think the company that knows what eventually he wants to do is going to want to give him a temporary contract? No. So, incompetent Brandon, mark another one up for him, as he's just basically dropped something on his foot again. So I just can't believe his stupidity that he continually comes to us with, and just never ceases to stop. Another report that we saw was there was a hotel or motel in Evanston, Illinois, that Cook County had purchased, which was going to be opened as a shelter called Margarita Inn. So the people in Evanston, let's say the woke people of Evanston, will be getting some migrants in their fair city in the near future, courtesy of Cook County. All right, so there you have the update for today on all the migrants. Yeah, what's going on with our economy, folks? I'm here to tell you, as much as they tell you that our economy is good, it's all a big lie. It is a big lie. It's a deception. It is just a big lie. As we continuously see good jobs being shed by countless corporations. On a daily basis, if you check the news, you're going to find out that there's just oodles and oodles of Fortune 1000, 2000 companies that are cutting the fat and trimming down their expenses because they know that bad times are ahead. The numbers, debt limits and debt numbers of the consumer just keep spiraling up. Inflation is up again. It was never down. They lied to you about that too, folks. Inflation is not going down. It is just slowing its climb upward. I think now we're at 3.1. And if you believe that number, I got a bridge I can sell you in Brooklyn too. So every consumer, if they do their own shopping at the grocery store or keep track of the gas prices at the pump, you know that inflation is raging and people are hurting. There's lots of people that are hurting, and you're going to see in the coming months lots of pain. I've also seen reports. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that a lot of the lower class and middle class folks are expecting their tax returns to buy them some relief every year. If you don't realize that, but a lot of people actually buy new cars with new used cars with their tax returns. A lot of people catch up on their bills with their tax returns, but I've seen reports that tax returns this year, the amount of them is down by 50%. Let me say that again. Current tax returns so far this year are down by 50%. So that means the people that are relying on their tax returns to buy them some breathing room are not going to get as much breathing room that they normally do, as the tax return value has plummeted. So look for that bad news to hit your friends who like to save money in their tax return. Do you have any people in your family that do that? I've got one that I know where they take extra money out of their check every week, and at the end of the year they get it back from the government, and they cherish that. They love it. That is what they want to do. I tried to explain to this person that you're just giving your money to the government for free without any interest, that you could keep your money and earn interest off it and be ahead of the game. But this person says, oh no, it's like a big Christmas gift for me after Christmas. Go figure. This is how this person thinks. And you wonder why we have financially broke people in the world. That's just crazy, folks. That is crazy. Having extra money taken out of your check so that it can be sent to the government so they can hold on to it for 9 to 10 months and then give it back to you without any interest. Without just they're just collecting it for you. Crazy financial thinking out there, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. You would not believe some of the financial saving story that I can tell you about people. That's just a mild one. That's just a mild one. So as things get crazy, folks, consider getting yourself some real assets, right? We got some real assets here. I've been collecting this stuff for the last couple of years, and we try to have some real money here, right? Real money. This is God's money. And the reason I collect this is the value of this stuff keeps plummeting. It keeps going down in value. The value of this kind of stays consistent. So as this becomes more and more worthless as time goes on, it's lost like 98.5% of its value. Let me say that again. This stuff is lost 98.5% of its value since 1970. Where this type of stuff has retained its value, if not gained its value. That's why I'm not giving you financial advice, but just allowing you to consider that at some point when something hits the fan, this may have some value, and you may be able to take this to Aldi's someday and pay for your groceries. I really firmly believe that, and that's why I collect this stuff, is because at some point when our green money here becomes worthless and can be used to light fires and wipe body parts that you have, you're gonna need to have that precious metals stuff around. This is gonna be worthless. This is gonna be, I don't know, just used to wipe your body parts. So that's all I have for today. Hope you enjoyed Migrant Mayhem. Let's see if we can give you a little bit of humor here as we head out. Let's try this.
Well, I sit on the stand. Don't do it. And it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I love kids jumping on my lap.
Oh man, I am absolutely convinced at this point that Joe Biden is playing some fifth dimensional dementia chess with us boys. He trolled us. He has to at this point. Holy balls. On the anniversary of St. George Floyd passing away, of course, for a civil rights movement, the Joe Biden administration brings his family down to the White House. That's right. The family that is now the...
So there you go, folks. A little humor in your day. Like, share, and subscribe. I am DJ Wonder Chrissy. This is Migrant Mayhem, and this is also Land Cruiser Midwest. We're bringing you guys the breaking news, as no one else can bring to you. Breaking news. Only here do you get the real breaking news. Yes, you can hear that. Breaking news. We are the original breaking news channel. DJ Wonder Chrissy over and out. God bless America.